This is my second day in a row shorting HIMS and closing over $1,000 profit on just that stock. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I'm so excited to recap the day. I really hope that you learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like I earned it. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So before we talk about AMD and its earnings, I want to talk about HIMS. HIMS is overbought, overvalued, overhyped up, and it reported terrible earnings. Once again, proving that in a market full of greed, these irrational stocks with insane valuation are finally paying the price. HIMS had the audacity, like I said in today's earlier video, when it was pumping up, didn't I say, hey, I'm thinking about shorting this, right? And, I think in today's earlier video, I actually did have my first short on HIMS, and I think I was up like $3,800 on the day. Yesterday, I made over $11,000. Today, I ended the day at 11.6K, and the whole focus behind this was HIMS reported earnings yesterday after the market closed. It gapped down. I made 11.2K yesterday. We knew that markets were irrational enough that right when the markets opened, this thing could pump up. Very glad we closed out our short. I showed it. We let this thing pump up, and in today's live trading session, we opened up short and added more to it the more that it sold off. Every lower high that it formed, I added more to my short. Eventually, it found its support. I made 11.6K, made my money, and I bounced. As you can see, my position is fully closed, and I'm ready for this thing to pump up again tomorrow. And if it does, guess what? We're not going to try to predict the top. I don't have to be early to a short. All I have to do is wait for it to become super overbought, just like a rubber band. Eventually, that snaps, and it comes down to give it all back, right? Especially when the company is full of bullshit. The second thing that I want to talk about is AMD. So AMD, I wouldn't say is full of BS. Actually, a tech company that's growing in an emerging market. Now, it just didn't meet investors' expectation. It was the second consecutive quarter where it showed a decline in its overall revenue. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. So AMD, when it comes down to this current position, 8.8K. Yes, I did make a majority of this shorting it. I'm actually open to the idea of potentially going long because it sold off so much. But this is something that we can talk about a little bit more tomorrow. So again, overall on the day, cleared over $20,000 profit, shorting one bullshit stock. And that's HIMS. The second one, it's just unfortunate that it reported earnings and that it came in lower. It wasn't much of a surprise for me. I actually let my LPP team know before I took the short on AMD that I was going in short. I don't recommend beginners to ever copy any of my trades, especially right as it's about to report earnings. I rarely ever do that, and I made it very clear to them. They know to not copy any trade blindly. But I'm very happy that I did, obviously based off of how it turned out. AMD has always been the second or third best when it comes down to semiconductors, when it comes down to the stock market. It's always been NVIDIA number one, and then obviously it switches back and forth between AMD, Intel, and TSM. Nonetheless, again, we can see two consecutive quarters that we've seen a decline when it comes down to data center revenue. This is not showing signs of growth. This does not support the insane valuation that AMD has been able to come back from lows of $78, and that was earlier this year, to now double that price at highs of $182. Remember, there's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing wrong, but it is harder to discredit a company and its insane valuation when it has consecutive quarters that it's beating every single expectation. PLTR is a really good example of this. Its valuation is still insane, but it's doing a very good job growing quarter after quarter after quarter. This is why I call it the Thanos of overvalued stocks, right? It kind of meets all the criteria and has all the bells and whistles to be great in an irrational market. With that being said, AMD fell through the cracks because of that. It didn't have all the bells and whistles. It is not showing consecutive growth in every single sector. When it comes down to its overall revenue, yes, it did end up beating expectation. When it comes down to earnings per share, it came in as expected. Remember, these are insane valuations that they currently have. So for it to be justified at that level, it has to continue to blow its earnings out of the water. And in my opinion, it did not do so, at least not today. Small caps are also having their largest, or are on track for their largest outflow in history, meaning that people are dumping those piece of shit stocks that, again, no one actually wants. This is why you are seeing companies like SMCI, after reporting earnings, down 16 to 17%. I don't even personally like shorting stocks like this because even for myself, they're too risky. I would not recommend it for any beginner. And again, I love when bull crap companies like this begin to fall apart. We called it a bull crap company. Feel free to look back when this thing was pumping over $120 per share. I called it a bull crap company there. When it came down to crashing to $17, I was not surprised, and it's been consolidating ever since. It's retesting a previous high. I would not be surprised to see this back at $30 per share. But again, it's incredibly volatile. In a market full of greed, anything is possible because the environment to be irrational is supported in current market conditions. So it's really important to understand that. And this is why anytime that I do choose to take a short, I like to get in, get out, make my money, and I bounce because I know the next day, although we might have terrible news today, tomorrow, Trump can send a tweet and markets can skyrocket just because of the weather, right? With that being said, I also wanted to share why we were seeing some form of uncertainty with the market today. And that's just due to an update that Trump says chips, which is, chip manufacturers, and pharma tariffs are coming soon. Also, there's a bunch of other countries that he's beginning to negotiate with, slapping them with tariffs. So it looks like the trade war is kind of back. But again, markets are almost immune to it. So you're just seeing some consolidation. My biggest recommendation for anyone that's just getting started right now with current market conditions is size down. Do not trade with full position sizes. And if direction is unclear, I would rather stay cash, right? If direction is clear and it meets your criteria, that's a different story, but you still need to be mindful of that position size. But if you're kind of second guessing yourself, if you should go long, if you should go short, then again, it's best just to be safe, hold back, and wait for conditions to be more favorable for you, for someone that's just getting started. Remember, we're always here to help beginners get started. I trade live every single morning, and if you ever want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. If you sign up tonight, you can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.